UConn beats North Carolina. So Tar Heels fans probably not jacked up right now. But while you were watching it, you can't say it wasn't a good time. That was a fun game. Early in the season, really great atmosphere. Two, I believe, really good teams that have different ways to grow as the season goes along. It was a really good experience for both teams. And a reminder to UNC that there are teams out there that have things cooking in a pretty good direction. UConn is officially a reloading program rather than a rebuilding. But pretty incredible what they were able to do. They lost their top two scorers from a season ago, 3 starters, 2 key reserves. Now, granted, they won the national championship last year, so they lost all of that from a pretty good team, but they were still really good despite losing all of that. So North Carolina knows, all right, we're not just trying to chase down teams. We're trying to chase down teams that are getting better, right? It's not just chasing down a team that's stagnant. You're trying to chase down the top of the country, because that's what North Carolina is chasing, right? They were up to top 10 in the country. Chasing down teams that are actively getting better. You have to get better at a faster rate than they do if you want to catch them. Here's Hubert Davis, the head coach of the Tar Heels, on UConn's crispness.
They do a really good job executing. We made a change defensively in the first half in terms of any off-the-ball action. We were switching 1 through 4 because they just have so much screening. We felt like that'll put us in a good position to protect the paint and contest the 3. This is the best that they've shot from the 3 this season. And then in the second half, I just felt like in the first half, they were just in a really good rhythm. So in the first half, we tried 1 possession of, a 1-3-1 zone. Spencer hit a 3 on that one. And then in the second half, we started picking up full court. We started doubling ball screens, and it sped them up and took them out of rhythm. And that's, I think, a huge reason why we were able to cut it to 5 and get it to 6, and we just couldn't get over that hump.
I want to give a reason to UNC, okay? If you've listened to the show, I think there's a big difference between excuses and reasons. An excuse is you're making something up. It's, basically bogus. A reason is that's a real reason. UConn made some shots that I don't think they can consistently make last night. Specifically in that middle part, kind of the end of the first, beginning of the second half, there were some hey, we got possession. It was knocked away, a little fumble, scooped it up. There's 1 second on the shot clock, taking it from well beyond their range, and they were knocking them down. In football, we used to say, good coverage, better throw. If you play great defense all the way to the end of the shot clock and they knock down a Steph Curry range catch and shoot, you tip your hat to them and you run back on the other side. I'm not sure North Carolina is going to be upset with themselves for that defensive possession, even though they come away, giving up the 3. There was some of that, right? I'm not sure, right? Because the one argument is UConn, got in foul trouble, didn't play great, still won by 11. The other is, I think if they play that game 10 times, maybe UConn wins 6 as they're presently constructed. I don't think that was a runaway, super lopsided matchup of any kind. We talked yesterday about the matchup of the bigs. Donovan Clingan for UConn, the lottery pick, going up against the veteran with every trick in the book, Armando Bacot. Armando won that individual battle. Clingan was in foul trouble, and that wasn't an accident, right? Armando was every kind of pump fake and lean in and draw in contact, and that. Clingan was in foul trouble. That's part of being a young guy against a veteran big, is they're going to try to get you in foul trouble. But then this Cam Spencer guy came around.
Public enemy number 1.
He said, all right, my 7'2" guy that's supposed to be feuding with Armando Bacot today, they're supposed to be going at it. Well, my 7'2" guy got in foul trouble. I'll take it upon myself. Whether I'm 100% physically or not, I'm now the arch enemy of Armando Bacot, and he got his shots in. Right? He started taking over that individual battle, and he was holding his own against Armando Bacot. The techs, the jawing, Every hard bucket and rebound you get down low, I'm going to make a difficult drive or a shot. There was a lot of that. So give Cam Spencer credit. It's not easy to go up against Armando and not lose ground, especially when you're not, 6'9" and above. Here's Armando Bacot on his interactions with Cam Spencer.
Yeah, I mean, he was saying things he wouldn't say to me if we was in the park or something, but it's all good. He had a great game, so credit to him.
It looked like he got some, even on the technical free throw, shoot one, say something.
Yeah, no, he was amped up, but, I mean, it's all good. It's fine.
Yeah, it was a good battle. I expected going into that game. You can go back and listen to the show from yesterday. I was excited for Armando to be in a mano-a-mano matchup. I was not expecting it to be with Cam Spencer.
I mean, Tim, you would have thought Cam Spencer played for Duke with how North Carolina fans were getting upset with him. And then also, just some of the three-point shots he was making kind of remind me a little bit of Grayson Allen in a sense.
You don't want to do that to North Carolina. Start mixing Cam Spencer and Grayson Allen memories. It'd be a rough one. So that's the... By the way, the mecca of basketball, the atmosphere was great. All of those, it all played well. Jimmy V Classic, it all played well. The actual X's and O's of it, I think it's a depth thing. When I watch North Carolina, I fully trust RJ Davis, Armando Bacot, and Harrison Ingram. Harrison Ingram being the new transfer, the other two guys being around forever. Fully trust them. RJ Davis may have showed up a little late, but once he got going, he got going. Armando with 13 and 13. Harrison Ingram, I trust a bunch. He's established himself quickly. And actually, I saw on Twitter, there was a big debate on who the alpha is on this team. It's RJ Davis, and Armando Bacot doesn't back down from anybody. It's either of those guys, and I like Harrison Ingram on top. It's the depth thing. Outside of those three, I'm not sure I trust anyone for North Carolina. Outside of RJ Davis, Armando Bacot, and Harrison Ingram, I'm not sure I trust anyone. Cormac Ryan was brought into the program in part because he's a guy that can stretch and space and knock down the three. He went 0 for 6 from 3 last night. He's shooting 25% from 3 on the season. Elliot Cadeau, somebody's got to get in his face and say, you belong here. You're an equal as a scorer. Go get your own bucket. I think his passing, it shows through, but in order for me to fully trust Elliot Cadeau, and I am very high on that guy, in order for me to fully trust him, I need him to look at himself and RJ Davis and Bacot and Ingram and the rest of this starting five and say, I am an equal when it comes to scoring the basketball. It's a depth thing. UConn trusted more of their players, and they lived up to that trust. When Klingon got in foul trouble, they had other guys coming in and stepping up. UNC did a lot that I like. UConn did a lot that I like. Most of the UNC stuff that I liked watching that game came from 3 guys. UConn, yes, Spencer played well. Yes, they had a few guys that took over at stretches, but it was just a much more depth thing. So if there's a point of emphasis for UNC moving forward, it's get your depth right. Get your rotations right. Who's coming off the bench, and are they ready to be trusted in big moments, like in MSG against the number 4 or 5 team in the country? That's why you play those games, to figure those things out.